everybody and welcome to CFC Fan TV. Now, as you know, last night United lost to Tottenham, which is never a nice thing to do for any team, 3-0 at Old Trafford. We want to get your thoughts on it. Mourinho is our former manager. He's won 3 Premier League titles with us. What is going on? What is going on with him?
Mate, I know it's so bad. And do you know what it reminds me of? There is such echoes of this. I can remember about 10 years ago, I think 2007, I remember going to Wycombe Wanderers. Chelsea played Wycombe and it was a semi-final of the League Cup, and as we went over there, the team sheet came out. I couldn't get my head around it. I remember I was in a pub, easy game to get to, easy away game, Adams Park, and the team sheet came out, and our 2 centre-backs that day were Michael Essien and Paulo Ferreira. And you think, this didn't make sense. And obviously at the time Mourinho was having a bit of a gripe with the board because at the time the board would not sign Ben Haim. We were desperate to sign Tal Ben Haim, who was playing at Bolton. The board wouldn't sanction it. They wouldn't give him the money. It wasn't dear either. I think it was only about 500 grand. They wouldn't sanction the deal. As a protest, Mourinho played 2 players completely out of position and we drew 1-1 with Wycombe. It's fine in the river. Yeah. When I saw the team sheet last night, I was at home and I was watching the game and I was hoping United would win. Obviously, they're playing Tottenham, never want them to win. So I've put it on and I've looked at the back 3 that he's playing and he's picked Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera is a very effective central midfielder. He did a good job a couple of years ago at Old Trafford on Eden Hazard. He's certainly not a centre-back. And you think, in Tottenham, it pains me to say it, but Tottenham are a fantastic side at the moment. And in Harry Kane, they have one of the best strikers in world football, if not the best striker in world football. You could certainly make a case for that. You can't play Ander Herrera, who is a good midfielder. He's not better than that. He's a good midfielder. You can't play him at centre-half against the best centre-forward in the country.
Agreed.
But that, to me, is Mourinho poking fun, or perhaps even doing something slightly more sinister, starting a fight with the board.
Yeah, I mean, he was fuming in his press conference. I don't know if you guys saw it. For those of you that haven't, he more or less stormed out.
It's horrific.
He said, it's got like millions of views on Twitter, just a little clip. He basically said, have some respect for me. I've won more Premier League titles than the other 19 managers combined in this league. Now, I'm going to be...
He must have been waiting so long to say... He's wanted to say that for such a long time. But he couldn't say it until Wenger left. Because Wenger's won 3 as well. Right,
yeah. But that's always been my... I don't think I've ever said it aloud. I mean, you guys will know that I've always been very pro Jose Mourinho, and I don't want to change my views now because I think he's acting a little bit off. I do think that he is quite differently to other managers. I think when he goes into a press conference...
Sorry, he's treated differently?
Yeah,
right. Okay,
treated sorry, my accent. Treated a bit differently, and I think when he does a press conference, I think they come for him as if to not acknowledge all the good that he's done, and they like the fact that people sort of go into this whole but you're not special anymore sort of thing.
I think you're being really generous.
Okay, but I haven't finished my point yet.
Generous.
But yeah, I think although I think there's a lot of things that he's doing wrong now in terms of his attitude, the way he sets out his team, the way he tries to get results, and I think actually at the end of the day, if you actually just sort of back down, let your ego go for a second, you do then start to see a change and a positive change. He obviously has I think he's probably built up a lot of anger over the last few years and he hasn't been able to say things like that. I think he probably feels like a lot of managers get away with things that not necessarily he wouldn't. I think Jurgen Klopp gets away with a lot of things. I sometimes watch Klopp's games, especially start of last season. I thought to myself, if that was Mourinho in that conference, they would absolutely hammer him. But because Klopp's got this very good sense of humour, he's very bubbly, he's got a very infectious smile, he does get away with a lot of things that a lot of other managers wouldn't. So from that perspective, I can see why Mourinho has built up a lot of anger and aggression, and it's all come out all at once. On the contrary to that, on the other side, how he decides to get the board or the club or whoever he's working for to listen to him by playing players out of position, or I don't know what he does in training. I mean, we know that he's very harsh with his players and staff. I think he just goes too far with it, and I think, like you said to me earlier, he sort of brought it on himself a little bit at this point.
Yeah, look, everything that Mourinho achieved at Chelsea, Mourinho took me to Bolton Wanderers when we won the league. That was a day that I never thought I would see. You know, I remember when Frank Lampard rounded Jääskeläinen, I could not believe my eyes. I was there, I was young, and there were like grown men around me crying. Mourinho was responsible for that day. It was an outrageous time to be following Chelsea. We were seeing things that we never thought we would dream of seeing, and we then saw it all again the next year. It was an unbelievable time, and for that, I will forever be thankful to Mourinho. Equally, he did it all then a decade later. You know, he won the league with Chelsea. He came back, did it again a decade later. So what he has done for Chelsea Football Club, he is Chelsea's greatest ever manager. That is undoubtedly true. But I don't know if it matters anymore. I don't think it's relevant. It's relevant to us because we're Chelsea fans, and we'll forever be thankful for that. But
I think if you're taking it back to the first time on the league was 2004, 2005 with him, and you look at the Premier League now, it's almost like two different leagues, that it's got tougher. And I think if he decides to
I don't know if that's true. When Mourinho won the league, it's a very hard league to win. You've got to think the team that we beat to the title that year. So that was a very difficult time to win the league. You had the year before, so the team that we took the title from were the team that went undefeated for an entire season.
Yeah.
So we took the team from the best Arsenal team that there's ever been.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm just
and
saying
Manchester
now
United then were very good as well.
But what I'm saying is that they haven't had a good start to this season at all. And I think if he continues to protest the way he does by however he does it, I don't know what he does in training. We don't see that behind the scenes stuff. I watched an interview that JT did. I think he did it on Sky Sports, maybe. I'm not sure where he did it, somewhere. And he said that one day in training that like he screamed at some kid because he didn't throw the ball in quick enough or something like that. And this is in training. So he obviously has such high standards to the point where maybe I think the likes of JT and Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba would admire that and listen to that. I think the likes of Pogba, Lukaku, I don't think they would put up with that for 2 seconds.
I think this is a question because the majority of people watching this are Chelsea fans, and this is the question that I want to ask you, so please comment below and let us know. But the man that we all fell in love with a decade or so ago, does he still exist? Is that man still relevant? Is that man still alive? Or has the game moved on and has he changed so much that the man that we knew is no longer around?
I think he's a fantastically talented manager. I think he's one of the best out there. I think this is all a very psychological and bitter state of affairs. That's the only way I see it, because you can't. It's a bit like, for me, saying that, it's a bit like everyone says Pep Guardiola is the best manager in the entire world. Many people would agree with that.
Probably.
But he's only ever taken on extremely good teams, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Man City. That's my argument for that. You could say that, but no one's going to say that loud because.
Yeah, I mean, the Guardiola debate is a different debate, but I do see where you're coming from. But the thing is, if you look at what happened last night, Tottenham scored 3 at Old Trafford. That's ridiculous. That doesn't happen. Manchester United do not lose at home to Tottenham ever.
I think he was at fault last night. I'm just saying that a lot of the stick Mourinho gets, other managers do not.
But the other thing, yeah, I think everybody would agree with that. But I think the other thing is what Mourinho's brilliance once was keeping clean sheets, being solid at the back. The year that we won the league the first time, we only conceded 6 goals at home all season. They conceded 3 in one night.
Yeah.
If you look at what Jose Mourinho did to Frank Lampard, Jose Mourinho created a midfielder. Obviously Frank Lampard deserves a huge amounts of credit here as well. But under the watch for eye of Mourinho, Frank Lampard went on to finish second in a Ballon d'Or, second to Ronaldinho. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Ronaldinho wins it. Of course he wins it because he was on a different level to everyone. The person who finished second that year was Frank Lampard. The midfielder currently at Mourinho's disposal is arguably, or in fact probably definitely, as naturally gifted as Frank Lampard. Paul Pogba has all of the natural attributes that Frank Lampard has. But for some reason, Mourinho just can't coax a performance out of him. And it makes you wonder, is Mourinho done? Is he finished?
I wouldn't even compare Paul Pogba's attitude to the likes of Frank Lampard. I reckon they're two completely different types of personalities, and I think Frank Lampard would know exactly how to work with Mourinho, and I think Pogba is a sort of player that would just be there.
But you could say the same the other way, couldn't you? You could say that Mourinho would know how to handle Pogba. Mourinho would know how to handle Lampard. Mourinho should know how to handle Pogba.
I just think it's different now. I think there are some players that want things their own way, and I think Frank Lampard's probably more of a player that is willing to work in with a team of people. That's the way I would see. I don't know.
Final question.
Yeah.
And you have to answer. You have to answer yes or no. Is Mourinho finished?
Absolutely not, no. But
what do you think? Can you do us a favour? Comment below. Is Mourinho finished?
Yeah, his attitude. I think he's become very, very angry, frustrated, hostile with all the criticism that he gets, and it's almost gone too far the other way.
It's the pre and post Madrid, isn't it? The man that came back from Spain wasn't the same man that went to Spain. So the man that we knew in Portugal, England, and Italy is a shell compared to the man that came back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just for me, I am not going to slate a manager who I once, when he was at Chelsea, both spells, I loved going to the Bridge. I've never felt more at home. I thought it was just a joy to watch us play. So, and I loved having him on the sidelines. As of what's happened since then, it's obviously a little bit sad. But if I was him, I'd just take on a different challenge. I'd have a different approach to everything now.
I think he needs to retire. You've got loads of money.
Either or.
Got loads of money. You've got a great track record. You're going to be a legend at Chelsea forever and Inter Milan forever. Go and enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, either that or if he took on like I said to you, I think I said to you yesterday, took on I was talking to somebody, took on a team that weren't doing so well, like bottom half of the table, and made them great. I think then he could easily have his rep back. So there we have it. The question is, guys, do you think Mourinho is finished? Obviously, Rory thinks yes. I think no. Do comment below. That's what you said. You just say this. So comment below and please click the subscribe button as always and give this video a thumbs up if you liked listening to us today. Comment below.